Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and remember, Context is Everything Media Network founder and CEO is reading another textbook, cover to cover. Today, in this 1940 American history textbook, we will be reading about, new chapter, New France, Chapter 4, Section 1, The French Come to America. Samuel De Champlain. The founding of Quebec in 1608, 1 year after the English settled in Jamestown, a party of French colonists came to America. Samuel De Champlain led the party. He planned to start a settlement in Quebec. There were 3 reasons why this was a good place for a town. 1. The land and the bank of the St. Lawrence River was nearly level. 2. Right behind the level place there was a high steep cliff or wall of rock. The cliff would be a fine place for a fort. Champlain knew that the fort would be necessary to protect the settlers from unfriendly Indians. And 3. The St. Lawrence River would serve as an outlet to the Atlantic Ocean. Champlain, a good leader. Samuel De Champlain was a good man to direct the settlement in America. He had been to the New World before. There were 3 reasons why Champlain was willing to serve as the colonial governor of New France. 1. Samuel De Champlain knew that there was great profit to be made in the fur trade. He was a patriotic man, and he desired France to have some of the profit that gained by the fur trade in America. Champlain was not very much interested in personal gain. 2. Champlain was a real patriot. He wished to extend the boundaries of French colonies to America. 3. Champlain was a devout Catholic. He wished the Indians might be converted to Catholic faith. He desired to serve the church and his God. Farming in New France. Governor Champlain knew that the winter of New France was going to be long and cold, and the summers were short and hot. This meant a shorter growing season than French settlers were used to in France. Many of the settlers who came to New France were farmers. As well, it was well for them that the governor had a knowledge of the crops that could be grown in the new land. The soil was thin and rocky. This was not good soil for successful farming. The short growing seasons and poor soil were the chief reasons why the colonists of New France were not successful farmers. The French and the Indians. Governor Champlain made every effort to win the friendship of the Indians. The Indians in the neighborhood belonged to the Huron and Algonquins. Champlain succeeded very well in making friends with the Algonquins. Notice that the Indians in the picture is holding out a peace pipe to the French leader. There's a picture here. And the gentleman here is holding out a peace pipe to the gentleman here, native French. Where was I? The French and the Indians. Governor Champlain made every effort. Oh yeah, I read that. Notice that the Indian in the picture is holding out a peace pipe to the French leader. Warlike Indians named Iroquois lived in what is now the state of New York. The Iroquois were bitter enemies to the Algonquins. The Iroquois were angry when they learned that the French had made friends with the Algonquins, whom they hated. This friendship with the Algonquins caused the Iroquois to hate the French. This bitter hatred really checked French settlement toward the south. The French trappers of fur traders had to go far out of their way to reach the interior of America. They knew that the fierce Iroquois would attack them. The English and the Iroquois. The English when they came to the region of New York, found the Iroquois friendly and willing to trade with them. The Iroquois were also willing and eager to help the English and fight against the French. English fur traders usually paid more for skins than French traders. Of course, the skins were not paid for in money. The Indians were able to get more guns, powder, lead, woolen blankets, knives, hatchets when they bartered furs with the English. It was more profitable for the Iroquois to take the furs to the trading posts at Albany than to take them to the posts at Montreal. Montreal was the great fur trading post of New France. Albany was the English fur trading post. Father of New France. Samuel De Champlain was a man of great courage. It was his courage as the leader that saved the French settlement during the first terrible winter. It was his courage that saved the Indian friends and the Algonquins. He's the most unselfish man. He was a most unselfish man. Did I skip a page? Nope. He was a most unselfish man. He sacrificed his time and ability in service for other people. He never tried to gain personal wealth or honor. Samuel Champlain was a very patriotic man. He wished to serve France well. He labored hard to strengthen the power of France in America. The early fur trade was directed so that profits might go to his beloved France. He served as governor of New France until his death. Governor Champlain was a zealous Catholic. A zealous person is eager and enthusiastic. Champlain was eager and enthusiastic about conversion of the Indians. The father of New France was a great man. Perhaps he was so great because he was so good. He always said that what a leader should be is a man of God. Goodbye. God bless. Have a good day. Enjoy. And yes. Goodbye.